11:01. We have 28 attendees. Thank you, and hopefully a few more to come. We've had 600 odd streams or watches of the video from last fortnight. So really appreciate everyone that's doing that. Everyone's going to get a recording, so you'll be able to share a recording. They're all on our YouTube page as a public video. They're all on our Facebook page. Because we're streaming live on Facebook, Facebook auto records it and it's there forever. We can't escape from it. So we welcome to everybody. Just quick intro. I'm Tony Fanfuller. That way is Chris Jansen. We both work in corporate in EXP Australia. But we both are transacting real estate agents. I have been for 27 years, Chris for 15 odd years, something like that. And this is our fifth Business by Design session. We have them every fortnight. This is the fifth one, and we've sort of been setting it up as a pathway to a process for you to undertake to get you out there. And we started with digital business cards, magazines, social posts. Chris did an awesome session on video last fortnight, and that's the one that's been watched about 600 times. Because if you ever want to learn or do video easily, and I know a lot of us don't like it, but we've seen some awesome examples of some of our agents doing it for the first time in the last fortnight, just based on Chris's training 2 weeks ago. We did a contact marketing matrix where we learned about all of our contact types of people, our clients, and how often we'd like to contact them, and there's a management of that. And today is, again, Chris is going to drive this session on Meta ads, Meta being Facebook and Instagram, and just how to get yourself out there using those ads efficiently, value for money, and obviously building your business so that efficiently in the cost that it is on Meta versus cost of hard copy ads or DL cards or pictures in the newspaper, stuff like that. Very, very cost effective and something we all should be doing. But it is a bit of a mystery and can be quite techy, and Chris is going to slow it down and really help us to understand it. When you watch the video back, you can watch it, pause it, use your own Meta dashboard and that. So over to you, Chris.
Thanks, mate. That was an amazing introductory. So, Peter, just further to your question, you can outsource this stuff that we're going to cover off today. Yes, you're going to have to invest around $1,500 a month at minimum to get it right if you're paying somebody else to do this. Now, I appreciate not everybody has it in their budget to outsource this part of their business with social and digital and lead generation. So today's session is really about those that would like to understand Meta ads from a branding and an awareness and an engagement perspective. But before I jump into today, we're going to do a live demo. Again, I am a transactional agent. I still sell 50 homes thereabouts year after year myself. So I've very much got my finger on the pulse and I understand what industry agents need. But just a little disclaimer, because I had some calls yesterday, which is great. Many industry agents, even outside of our network, Tony, are calling us and saying, can you help us with this? Tony and I are not real estate coaches, right? And I have no aspirations to be a real estate coach. I am just an industry agent on the ground who thrives and loves collaborating with all industry agents to help them find success. And I don't know everything, but I'm willing to share openly what works in my business. And today that's going to be Meta ads, lead generation from Meta ads. So that's the first thing I wanted to disclose. But a lot of this stuff we share, I just want to be very clear on, within our model EXP Realty, we actually do train, mentor, and support our members and agents on it. Now, I'll just drop in the little chat box our EXP Realty Australia YouTube page, because all the content that you're seeing here today and previous sessions and future sessions is all housed on there. Alrighty, so feel free to grab that link that's in the chat box now, because there is millions and millions of dollars of income earning from agents that are on the ground doing this work, willing to share this sort of stuff. The second link that I want to share with you, which we'll cover off as we go through today's session, is an app, a website called Gamma App. So if you struggle with creativity in bringing presentation, forms together, slide decks, whatever it might be. This is an awesome AI-powered designer platform for designing and inspiration. You can create unlimited presentations, websites, and more in seconds, right? So as I go through, I've created some of my own creativity for today's example. Those that love Canva, obviously, all our XP Realty members, as part of being a member with our network, get Canva Premium. But if you maybe not struggle with Canva, Gamma is another automated AI app that can help you out, similar to Canva, but you don't have to do all the work because the bot will do the work for you. Alrighty. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my screens now. Two parts to today's session. Firstly, I'm going to step you through a very, very basic. Let me just close this down because it's dinging in my ear, that website. I'm going to share with you how to just create a very basic engagement campaign. Because there's no point talking about lead forms and to generate leads if you're not talking to your audience and engaging them on a regular and consistent basis, right? So what I'm going to share with you today is two parts to the ads strategy here is, and again, keep in mind when you go to do an ad campaign, whether it's for branding awareness or engagement or lead generation, be very clear in your understanding what you want to achieve from that campaign. So the first one I'm going to share with you is just purely engagement on maybe just on a new just listed property, right? So there's no expectation of leads coming in off it. I just want to get eyeballs. I want people seeing this new opportunity as a just listed that we've kicked off and we've put it across our social channels. Then once we've done that, we're going to actually go into creating a lead form and how you can generate and then start to retarget that audience where you've got thousands of eyeballs on that first just listed opportunity, how we then go and retarget that audience with lead forms to then actually get the hook, the call to action to bring in those leads, right? So I'm going to jump on and share my screen, Tony, and let me just make sure I get the right one here because there's a few open.
Thanks for everyone in the chats. There's a lot of good chat going on. You know, we're all here to help each other. As Chris said, we're not coaches. We're just wanting to share what different things that we do in our transactional lives. And you know, I'm in Melbourne's market. Chris is in Adelaide market, and you know, these are just things that we know our agents and us, and you know, we've got a couple of hundred agents that are all implementing these types of ideas, and we're seeing them work. So that's really just what we're trying to share.
That's it. All right, let me just close this one down, mate, and we'll get into the screen share. Where's it gone? Cool. So I'm going to bring it over onto this monitor because it's just easier for me. All right, here we go. So firstly, can you see in front of you my Facebook page, business page?
Yep.
Awesome. So when we go to create an ad, the easiest way to do it is, if you're not familiar with Ads Manager, is you can go into your business page, and when you're on your business page, you'll see on the left-hand side here, there is an Ads Manager. All righty. So when we click on that, actually I've already got it open there, so that's cool. All right, let's just keep one open. So the first thing we're going to do today is just create a very basic campaign, right? Now this can be just a just listed example. Let me delete that one. But what I want to share with you is what we're looking to achieve here. So that one's in draft, I won't delete it. So just some quick analytics, right, on some basic ads that I've got running right now. Now this can be on this is a new property of mine at Sanders Way, Williston, right? So I haven't done any lead generation on it at the moment, but you'll see here I'm spending $14 a day, right? So what I generally do, rule of thumb, I'll spend between $10 and $15 a day on a property just to get the awareness and the engagement out there, right? To get the eyeballs. And then once I set up that campaign afterwards, I'll then set up the lead form ad generation campaign to retarget that audience. And I might spend $5 or $10 a day on that property. So you can see on this campaign at the moment, I've had 13,523 impressions. Most important thing I look for is through plays. So just under 2,003 plays. That's where somebody's watched that video of that property for 15 seconds or longer. So you'll see when we create the lead generation off the back of that, how we can target those people that have watched it for less than 15 seconds or more than 15 seconds. Now, you would agree, Tony, if we're watching something for 15 seconds or more, as we did on our video content last fortnight, we're getting an engaged viewer. Right. I watch videos. If I'm watching 15 seconds, something's captivated me. It's got my attention. I'm interested. I'm watching. Right. So that's a really important audience we most certainly want to retarget. You can see at the moment it's costing me around 4 cents to get a through play click and eyeball on that property for more than 15 seconds. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to create a similar ad for a property that I've done a bit of a video on yesterday. I've put it onto my Facebook page today. Again, this is exactly what we covered off in last fortnightly session, using your camera, scripting, teleprompting through to editing videos in your CapCut application. Now, the question I often get is, Chris, what works better, awareness or engagement? Again, it depends on your audience. Like, I track my algorithms and my reporting performance on my videos, and engagement works better for my audience. But if I speak to some of the guys and girls I collaborate with in EXP, awareness works better for them. So try both of them and see what works better for you. So in this instance, I'm going to create an engagement, because I want people to be engaged in the video to watch it for 15 seconds or more, ideally. What I'd always encourage is always set up your campaign to be a manual engagement campaign, because then that way you control your spend, not Facebook controlling your spend. So I always personally set up a manual engagement or awareness campaign. Now, campaign name, always put up the top there what it is, because when you start to create many campaigns, as you've seen in my ads all down the left-hand side here, there's a lot of ads that have ensued over the many, many months I've been listing and transacting, right? So the clearer you can make it the campaign name, it's going to make it easy for you to differentiate what's what campaign, right? So in here, we're going to start scrolling down. Advantage campaign budget, A/B test. I don't even bother with that, okay? I leave it as is. We're going to go to the next page. Again, we can put in hang on, ad set we don't need to worry about. You can put the address in here if you want as well, but it doesn't really matter because you've created it in the first page with the ad campaign name. Okay, now we're going to start getting into the conversation particulars. So what are we looking to achieve? Well, we want to get people to look at the ad. We can, ask to generate calls, direct people to a website. You can link them back to your Facebook page. But in this instance, I've got the post already on my feed. It's already there, and I want people to look at the video because this is a video production, right? And we want to maximize the through plays ideally. So I'm really targeting people that are engaged, not just view for that 15 seconds or longer. Dynamic creative, I don't worry about that. In here, I'm going to set a daily budget, right? So in here, I'll put in, on this one, I might want to spend $10 a day to start creating the engagement and the views on that video. Now, some people say, well, what time do you, when do you want to start your videos? When works best? When doesn't really matter, right? Some people say, when should I end the video? Some people, the campaign, some people don't put an end date. I do put an end date. Sometimes some people don't because they feel Facebook then will spend the money early on or later on in the campaign. But I always put an end date because for me, when I've got lots of campaigns running, you can forget a campaign's running, which I have. And then I've gone into the ads manager and I'm like, I've spent $350 on that campaign, Tony, but the home settled 2 months ago, right? Try and avoid that.
Oh, dear, there's a trick for new players.
Yeah,
put it
so
on
always, I set an end date, right? So I'm going to say this one we want to start at 10 a.m., 12 p.m. today. The end date, again, I generally, folks, will run a campaign 2 weeks. I find works really well, no longer than 3 because it starts to get fatiguey. So if I was kicking a property off today, I'm probably I always rule of thumb, run it for 2 weeks because as we know in property and real estate, that's when all the energy, excitement, enthusiasm, and momentum comes in really early on. We want to capitalize on that. So I'm going to say end it on the 28th of November. And we're going to say end it at 12 p.m. Again, it might be if you're running an auction campaign, you can draw it out the 4 weeks if you like, but Again, all I'd be encouraging is if you're doing greater than 3 weeks on an ad campaign, just check your ads not fatiguing. The algorithms of Facebook are phenomenal, and they will actually let you know if an ad is fatiguing, and they'll give you recommendations. You'll see it in your ads manager. It says, "Hey, ads."
Can I ask a question, Chris? Up
Yes,
the top, this is a. Can you just scroll up the top for a sec?
yes,
This is a ad set within
yep.
a new ad. So when you just mentioned about fatiguing ads, would you perhaps run this for 2 weeks and then do a new ad set for the property in
Yep.
2 weeks' time with maybe new photos or videos, or what would be,
Yep.
if a property's lagging or if it's not selling?
Absolutely. You'd need to refresh it like anything. We need to change the imagery. We need to change the marketing. You might need to drop the video and put in image carousel or image or, standalone image. Yeah, but you'll need to refresh it. The only other way is if you're keeping the existing ad, you just got to pump more money back into it and feed the beast with dollars. So that's a really good point, Tony. So we set the end date, 12 p.m. Budget increasing. I'm not going to change that, right? Now, this is what you can do. So one thing that I used to do, if you want to dominate an area, let's call it a farm, BDA, or core area, what's really cool here, what I do is you can shoot a video and once a week drip feed that video for 7 days into your postcode or your suburb of preference. So every 7 days, your core area is getting a different video update for you that they're seeing for 7 days, right? And then you can later retarget them, which we'll show you in a moment, the retargeting options. But you can either just maybe put the suburb of the property that you're selling as a just listed example. You might target the postcode as well, or surrounding postcodes as well, right? Doesn't really matter. It's going to give you a bit of an indication of your audience size over the right-hand side here and your daily reach. But what I do personally is when I run a just listed, I'll target that suburb and I'll target a few surrounding postcodes. Obviously, you can also put in a drop pin to target a certain area. Minimum reach is 10 miles. Minimum reach I would suggest is 10 miles. Again, obviously, it's an American product, so we're in miles here. But yeah, look, I've tried and tested everything. I always target 3 or 4 postcodes around that property, and then I'll do a drop pin as well, right?
You're getting it covered.
Yeah, mate. Yep, we just want to keep pounding people so they're seeing this daily, right? Audience suggestions. The thing here, this is where we can choose demographics and age. I don't change that because the algorithms are phenomenal with Facebook, so it kind of picks up on those that are engaging with your content anyway. So I don't really focus on varying that too much. Placements, we'll get into this in a moment when we get into the retargeting of ads. But again, when I retarget, I've tried and tested it all, but I find the best ones are generally these ones up in the feeds up the top here. Again, try and test. Your audience might be different. I don't put it into Reels. I keep in-stream ads for videos and Reels sometimes, but I pretty much get rid of the rest. More often than not, I'll just have the in-stream ads and videos and Reels section ticked, and then obviously on feeds as well, okay? So once we've done that, we've kind of ticked where we're going to appear, location that we're going to be targeting our audiences, and who our audience is. And we've got the daily spend and then the timeframes of the campaign. So once we've done that, we're now actually going to go in and formulate the creative. So here we're going to make sure our Facebook page is ticked. Yes. An Instagram account, which should be linked because obviously they own Instagram, so they work in harmony with one another. So tick your Instagram account. Now in here you can create an ad or you can use an existing, right? So in this example, just in the interest of time, because in the next lead form generation, I'm going to actually create the ad, right, with some creative. So I just want to save some time for that. So we can actually go in when we select use existing post, and I'm going to say, there's that video of that property. I'm getting a bit of feedback there, mate.
Yeah.
Is that just me? Right.
Probably.
So there's a video that I've created of this property as of yesterday. Okay. And uploaded it to my feed today. Now in here, obviously you can change your button. So if you want to do a learn more button, and you can link it wherever you want. So if you've got your own personal website, you might link anybody who clicks on that learn more button goes back to your website. You might even have it linked back to a lead form link, whatever it might be. You can link it anywhere, right? So if someone clicks on that learn more, it's going to take them and direct them to where you wish them to go. Again, I'm not talking about leads just yet, right? This is just pure awareness and engagement on the content that's already on your page, okay? If you want to edit stuff on the video or the imagery that you're using, you can click up here. You can edit the placements, obviously. You can trim it. You can even upload a thumbnail if you want, or you can just choose the thumbnails through the video as they play through. Always cool to have a pretty engaging upfront thumbnail that captivates the audience pretty quickly. But that's all I really do. I don't focus on editing too much, cutting, snipping. It's just really the thumbnail and away we go. Now, obviously, because I've used an existing ad that's already on my page, I don't need to create any heading or text body, okay? Because this is pulling through on my feed, this post that's already there, okay?
Okay, so just a pause there, Chris.
Yep.
You created a post with that video in on your Facebook page, and you're using the content from that post to now create an ad.
Spot on. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, this is just an awareness. So if we go to my business page, here I created the post today, 2 hours ago, of this property. That's the live listing. And again, all the text and bodies there, right? So I don't need to do anything because I'm just using the existing posts on my feed. When we start to create the lead generation form, I'll show you how then we actually create the imagery, not pull from our news feed, okay?
Yep.
Because what's really important, folks, is it's great that I see so many agents go out there and launch their new listings, right? Because they're so excited, got a new listing. I know what that feels like. But then they never report the result, right? So what you really should be doing, again, just think of new listings and sold, just listed, just sold, is this is the just listed content that I'm now pushing out there for engagement. When we do the lead generation, I'm going to do the just sold, but I'm going to want to retarget that audience because now we've got the result, right? So you want to get back in contact with that people that watched your video, looked at your post, clicked on it, whatever it might be. We want to target them to get something back in return because that's the call to action. All right, so I don't worry about all this stuff pretty much, but once that ad is pretty much ready to go, and I'm just keeping this very basic, we can add more to it. We click publish, and it's going to start pushing that out, okay? So I'll just close this down, and now we're going to go into the lead generation. So if I use the example of this one here at Sanders Way, Williston, that one there, that's not a lead generation campaign because I'm setting that up for it today. But that is exactly what I did there and showed you is what I did on that property since Friday, right? Is when I was doing the $10 ad spend per day. So I've spent, what have I spent? It's been 4 days, 5 days since Friday, $50, let's call it. 4 cents a through play on the video and nearly 2,000 through plays on that video for $50 in the last 5 days, okay? So now we want to go in and we go, okay, we've pushed that property out there. We're creating the awareness. We're getting engagement. We're getting all these incredible views and through plays. What comes of it, right? Because no one's picking up the phone and ringing me and saying, seen your video, come sell your home. Now, I do get that because, again, these campaigns I always run regardless. Even if there's no lead generation off the back of them, I will run 3, 4 campaigns at any given time just purely from a branding and awareness. Just a reminder, please, agents, don't always look to social media to be about just lead gen. Branding and continual awareness is just as powerful. So that your repetition, consistency is key. So you're seeing time and time again. All right, let's get in and jump in and now create the lead generation. But firstly, before we create the lead generation, we need to know, well, what is the audience that we're going to try and retarget here? So in your ads manager campaigns, you've got, then we have audiences, right? So this is where we're going to build the audiences. to retarget the property, and I'll use that one there, the property I've got at Williston, as an example, to
Here comes the
retarget
gold,
those.
folks.
So firstly, we're going to go custom audience, right? Lookalike audiences are no longer allowed within the housing criteria, which I'll show you in a moment, under the Facebook ads policy and restrictions. So you will have to always create a custom audience. Once we go into creating custom audience, you're going to start to choose, well, who is the audience I want to retarget, right? So the first one is that if anyone's engaged with your website, you can retarget them. Now, I'd always encourage, when we create this, I'll show you, please drive traffic to you. Don't put it to your agency. You want as much traffic organically coming to you as the agent when doing this stuff, because it's your business page that's generally got your name attached to it. So if you have your own website, make sure you're driving your traffic to your own website. We can upload
not to realestate.com, not to domain.
No,
You're driving it, you know, at worst to your company site if you don't have your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, you know, those in franchises and things will be in the company site, but please no realestate.coms and domains.
We don't need to feed the beast bigger than what it already is, right? Custom lists, so you can actually upload CSV, Excel files, and you can retarget, clients that you pull out of your database and upload into here. We can also target people who have viewed our videos, right? So that could be any video on your news feed over the last 30, 60, 90 days. Any people who have engaged in your Instagram account, lead generation form, which we're going to actually create today, and then your Facebook page. So I'm just going to create a few audiences, right, that I want to retarget. So first I'm going to start with, I want to target people who have clicked on my website over the last the short period. Now, what I would always encourage is 30 days audience retention. Like if you are on your socials daily, like I'm talking consistently, do 30. Don't do 365, because most people who were in real estate mode may be connecting with your website or Facebook or Instagram page a year ago. They're probably not interested in real estate any longer, right? They've moved on, bought, sold, whatever. I generally keep my audience retention to 90 days, right? Because that audience is still quite relevant to today from 90 days ago. Now you can see here, it can pull through your website, obviously. You can obviously put in a manual link if you want to a URL. So if I click the drop-down box, people who visited a specific site, so you might have a landing page, a basic website, or a full automation website as I do. So you go in here and you can chuck your link, and it's going to link everybody that's connected with that page in the last 90 days. We're going to start retargeting them. So I'm going to call this website. Again, being really definitive and clear so I know what audiences and ads are running. Website, 90 days. Cool. Now you're going to see here, website 90 days, it's populating. So it's now scraping all the data. This can take quite some time. Don't worry if it hasn't fully populated by the time you're actually ready to go and create your ad. Because what you'll find is early on, the algorithms are just insane on Facebook, right? So sometimes you'll find your audience starts off in the first couple of days quite small and intimate, but as Facebook keeps scraping the data to find those who have connected with your website, the audience actually will start to get larger as the campaign goes on over those days, okay? So now I'm going to create another audience, and I want to also target people who have connected on any of my videos. So I'm going to choose, let's say I want to talk to people who have viewed. So this is really cool. So you can target people who have looked at your video for 3 seconds, at least 3 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, a through play or more. You can retarget people who have viewed at least 25% of your videos, 50% of your videos. So you can get really detailed here. But I'm going to say I just want to retarget those that have predominantly been looking at my videos for 15 seconds or longer. Okay. Again, I'm going to keep that audience to 90 days. Video.
Chris, so when you're creating an audience, you can't create an audience that's this and that and that. They've got to be separate audiences.
Correct. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, because it's different platforms and channels. Now, when you do select videos, you'll see here that I've got to actually choose, well, what videos do I want to choose to target, right? So if we're choosing ones in the last 90 days, you're going to select recent ones. Okay. So that's the only downfall is you do manually have to select what videos you want to retarget this audience that have watched in the last 15 for 15 seconds or longer in the last 90 days. So often I'll just select half a dozen, if not maybe more, of recent videos that are on my feed within the last 90 days. I'll select them in here. Okay. In this example, I'm not going to select them all because I'm conscious of time. So we've created the website audience. We definitely want a Instagram audience. Again, anybody 90 days. Instagram 90 days. Everyone who engaged this professional account. Yep. Cool. So you've got your Instagram account there. Make sure that's selected. You can change the events, but I always just leave this one to default. Anyone who's connected with that account of mine. Create an audience. So you can see it's still populating all these audiences for each of the different platforms. We're going to create another audience, and I'm going to say, I definitely want anyone who's connected with my Facebook page. There it is. It's selected it in the last 90 days. FB 90 days.
Right.
And then the last one is the lead forms. Yep. You can see all my previous lead forms here, obviously. So it'll save all forms that you've previously had. I'm not going to link 90 days. I can select anybody who's clicked on any of those lead forms that I've created previously. So there's 19 forms there. So it'll retarget anybody who's clicked on any of my 19 lead forms in the prior 90 days. So you can see there, folks, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repurposed audiences that have connected with my channels across multiple channels over the last 90 days. So what we want to do now, as those continue to populate, we actually now need to go and create the retargeting ad. Okay. So we're going to go back to campaigns. And you can see this one here. So let's just say this is the just listed video. So that campaign's still running to get all those impressions and through plays. But now I'm going to create the ad that we want to retarget those people, that audience that's viewed or been aware of that campaign. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, I want to create leads off the back of that now. Again, as I mentioned before, always go manual so you control your spend, not Facebook. Because again, I've had it before. Sometimes like Facebook comes out of the block flying and spends a lot of money early on. Sometimes they drip feed it and it's like drawing blood from a stone and they invest it all at the end. So select manual. So in this case, I'm going to say just sold. So let's say we've done the just listed video. Now I want to report and target everybody that engaged on that with the just sold result, right? So again, creating that nice clear campaign name. So itemizes what's what here. So you can see all my live video tours. You can see my post ads, property addresses. It's really clear because it just gets messy otherwise. As I said, Advantage campaign budget off, A/B testing off. All right, now before we created, we wanted video views, right? So we wanted to drive people to engage with the video. Now we want to create the lead generation forms off the back of that content. So we've got Facebook pages selected, which is great. Performance goal, never really change that, guys, girls. Always leave it as the same. Maximize for leads. Never really focus anything on the optimization because we're doing it ourselves. So let's say I've spent $10 a day on that just listed property video to get the eyeballs on it. Now I might spend $5 a day to then retarget. This is where agents go wrong, Tony. They push all this content out, just listed, just sold, but they don't actually go and retarget the audience that they brought in at the beginning, right? So that's what we're wanting to do now is re-engage those people. You don't need to spend as much. I spend more on creating the awareness and the engagement than I do the actual retargeting as such for leads and opportunities. Again, we're going to just set a start time. So 7 a.m. We're going to set that end time, 7 p.m. So you don't do what a Chris does and spend $300 on a property that settled 2 months ago. All right, audience controls. So in here, you'll start to see, before we didn't have this, right? We just targeted our location, whether it be our state. So we wouldn't put Australia, obviously, but I'm wanting to target people who are in my state of South Australia. There you go. Again, you can change your location parameters. But the most important thing here is we're going to select the custom audiences that we've created, right? So see the website 90 days, boom. See the video, anyone who's looked at any of my videos in the last 90 days, bang. Anybody who's looked at my Instagram account in the last 90 days, Facebook 90 days, and anybody who's clicked on my lead generation forms in the last 90 days. And this, folks, is how we pound people constantly to be seen, not just from your just listed post or video, so that they continually see you. And I get this time and time again, Tony. I get clients that say to me, I see you everywhere. Like, you just on my Instagram, I go to Facebook, I go to Google, I go to Marketplace, like all these places, you're just there. This is why, right? A lot of
Can
people
I
don't
ask,
know.
Chris, while you're there, so you did above the audiences there, you applied that area. Is it relevant to apply the area? Do you have to apply a location, because your audiences are obviously going to be probably where you targeted the previous ads?
Well, if you left this open to Australia, there would be people that would be looking at my content in other states, right? But I don't want to target them for leads because I can't help them if they're a seller or homeowner, right? So what I generally would do, sorry, I just make this for the state that I reside in, because I now want to retarget. I just want to retarget people who have looked at my content previously in the 90 days across so many platforms. I now want to retarget them with the lead generation opportunity, because me trying to talk to somebody in New South Wales, it's pointless. I can't help them. But each to their own. You might find you jag an opportunity that somebody's a buyer's agent that's looked at your content previously and they're in Queensland, or maybe they're an interstate investor. I just find the opportunities are far and few between, and I want to make sure the $5 daily ad spend with Facebook's algorithms is targeting people who've looked at my previous content that are local to my state, right?
Yep.
Because that's just how you help with the quality of the leads you're going to generate. Okay, so we've got our custom audiences there ready to go. Placements, again, personal preference. I do choose manual because I just find I get more from not that one, not that one, and not that one. So the main ones I keep ticked is high visibility, Facebook feeds, profile feeds, Instagram profile feed, marketplace, video feeds, Instagram Explore, Facebook Business Explore, and then a little bit with in-stream ads for videos and reels as well on Facebook. Okay. But again, it's personal preference. Your audience might be a little bit different. But again, we've chosen where. We've now got our custom audiences of who we're retargeting and our location and our timeframes. All right, so now we're going to actually create the lead form. So again, just choosing that it's my business page, Instagram page. So before, when I showed the example of the just listed video, we used an existing post and I just pulled through that content that was already on my newsfeed. In this instance though, folks, we're actually going to create the creative beginning to end, okay? So we're going to create a single image or video, and we're now going to set up the creative. Now, just for example purposes, I'm going to use one image, and we're going to say we've now sold that property. So create a nice image, however you want that to look, with your Canva, with Gamma, the app that I shared with you in the text box earlier. Always make sure it's 1-to-1 ratio, because you can see here it's a lot of lost landscape real estate space here. So fill that. And you're going to see we've now got the image. So it gives you a bit of a proof on the right-hand side. But more importantly, we now need a headline and we need a description. So ChatGPT, we're going to jump in there. I'm going to say, I am a real estate agent who is local to 9 Sanders Way, Williston. I have recently sold the property and want to create a Facebook awareness ad that promotes the sold result, creates awareness, but also lead generation form. I would like emojis at the beginning of each sentence with a call to action link. Please create me the headline and text body for the advertisement. Boom. Let's see what ChatGPT gives us today. What sort of mood it's in. There you go. There's my post. So now I'm going to go back to Ads Manager. I'm going to grab that headline and I'm going to chuck it in here. And then I'm going to grab the text body. And I'm going to put it in the description. Just space this out a bit. Man, my computer is slow. We're really testing the bandwidth today. All right. Okay, so we've got the heading. You can see it's over here. Okay. We've got the text body that's in the post. In here, again, you can have your call to action. So it might be a learn more. And in the learn more button, come on, why are you so slow? We're now going to start creating the form. 9 Sanders Way, sold. Now I'm going to say higher intent is the best option to select when you're creating the form. Reason being is we've all been there when you've got to fill something out and auto populates your information, first name, surname, mobile, email. Sometimes people who are using Facebook have an old email address because they created the Facebook account 10 years ago that they no longer use that email address. So you don't want that contact information if it's an old address. So the main thing with higher intent in the form type, it allows them to manually pre-fill in their information so you know it's correct and accurate because they've put it in, okay? Righto, so in here we can go in and say, let's pull the background image of the property. So you can see it's starting to build out the form on the right-hand side here, okay? And this is where we can go and ask some questions. If you would like to know the value of your home from off the back of this sale, we would love to help and hear from you. So we're just filling out the form as an example, right? I'm not going to go too much into what's the perfect description or text. Here it's going to start asking for their details. So we absolutely want full name, we absolutely want email, and we absolutely want a mobile number. So you can select categories down here and go, I want a phone number. And I would almost suggest that I like the order of full name, mobile, email. First name we can get rid of. Privacy policy. Now, if you're running your own website or your company, you should always have your own privacy statement on your website. So all I would do in this situation is privacy policy of my site. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to chuck it here. Right, so we're all covered, legally compliant and all that good stuff. Okay, cool. So now we can go down and add a question if you want. You can add multiple choice, you can add short answer, whatever suits, right? Review screen, so you're starting to see what it looks like. And now we're starting to go into message for leads. So you could say, go to a website. Start conversation in Messenger. And I might put in my website there as an example. Like to help with a price update on your home from the sale. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm creating the message for the lead. So this is back here. So question.
All live, folks. So bear with us while Chris is just practicing his typing skills.
Yeah. Click the button.
But you're getting some gold here in the, in what's going to be 45 minutes or so. This is what you pay thousands of dollars for to your lead gen companies.
Yeah. So in here, you can click the call to action to be to a website. So it might be directing to your website. For me, I use Jotforms, which we have run a session on that, haven't we, Tony? I think we did at the
Not in
beginning.
our business by design. No, it's put it on the list.
Okay, so this is a future session. So my Jotform, this is what is my home worth. I could link it to that if I wanted to. So this is just a free platform and landing page, folks, that we use that can create the opportunity for people to fill in their information. The other thing that I've got as well that works really well on my Blink business card, which was our first session, is the ability for clients to book with me directly. So they don't even need to pick up the phone. So if I wanted to, and again, this is through Calendly, which is another free platform, I could link that in there. So if somebody didn't want to call me in the contact information above, they can just call me directly, right? They can book with me directly.
And the Calendly links in with your Google Calendar, and we'll do a session on that maybe next year.
Yeah. And you can do stuff
Oh,
like Cool Business, view files, PDFs. I mean, you can use that Gamma app that I shared in the link in the comments above to create some creatives, whether you want to send like a visual of a digital just sold presentation, perhaps. Maybe you just want to link people to a Google Drive. You can link it all into here. Call to action. It puts it down the bottom. And we've now created the form. So if I went publish, folks, what's going to happen is that sold result is going to retarget all those people as those custom audiences in the last 90 days across all those social channels with that sold result. And the call to action is if they click the learn more, it's going to link them in to be able to book with me directly online through my calendar, Google Calendar, to book an appraisal electronically without even having to pick the phone up. I'm not going to publish that. I'm going to stop sharing when it's ready.
Folks, that's, this is a fairly complex topic that's been stepped through quite in quite a lot of detail. We're going to go through your questions in a minute, but yes, you will all get a copy of the video so that you can stop, pause, use your own ad manager and just work yourself through it, so that if this is something you do want to do yourself, you can work through it slowly and learn it. And it's one of those things that once you've done it a few times, it will become a little bit second nature, and you're off and away.
Yeah. I think
I think Chris might have frozen. jump out, jump back in, Chris, if you have. I'll cover off, just want to scroll back to a few of the questions. So back early doors, someone asked about, do we charge VPA for our Facebook ads? That's totally up to you. The answer in the main is yes. I think most agents these days are running, $100, $200 as a marketing item in their Facebook ads. Here you are coming back. Welcome back.
Hey, mate. Sorry about that. Wouldn't let me stop sharing. It wouldn't. I don't know. It just crashed out. Sorry about that, folks. But we're back.
You've still got your screen sitting up there, so I don't know if I can. Oh, there you go. We're right.
There we go. All right. Yeah. I don't know what happened then. We crashed. We crashed the tech, guys. Well done.
I was saying that we're going through some of the questions, but please complete.
Yeah, so that's it, folks. So like I said, the lead form's very simple to create up the custom audience, really important. But whatever you're doing, if you're posting consistently, 90 days, retarget those audiences and those people. Absolutely. Mate, you might need to go through the questions because my chat box has started from scratch now since the session dropped out.
Yeah. So we'll go through a few quick questions. Peter, I just have a fear it could harm the brand if not done properly. Old school prefer to talk to people. Absolutely, that's certainly your call. This is just options for people. Lead gen, we spoke about that earlier. A lot of lead generation companies out there selling this sort of service.
I think for Peter, what I would suggest, mate, I'm like you because I started 16 years ago, right? So I'm still pick up the phone and call, connect, and build relationships that way. I love it. But what I love about this stuff, mate, is it's working for us whether we're sleeping at night because clients work different hours to what we do. It's always out there. It's like the 24/7 billboard that irrespective of what we're doing, how busy we are, there's activity always happening. And as we know in our industry, the more activity that's out there spinning for you, the more opportunity it's going to bring back inbound for you.
Yeah, question there about sharing the content to the Google My Business page to boost the map search rankings onto your Google pages.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, well, we use YouTube religiously. We shared our YouTube channel. All my videos that I do go to my own personal YouTube page because we know Google owns YouTube. So the cross-pollination is amazing there. Let's be honest, Google and YouTube are a bigger behemoth than what Facebook and Meta is. So yeah, absolutely. Use those to your advantage for sure.
Yeah, I'm just trying to scroll through to see if there's any other questions we haven't covered. Please ask a question if you'd like. Can you retarget off the back of the ad that was never boosted?
Boosted, that word I cringe at because yeah, a lot of people still boost. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend creating the ad in Ads Manager yourself rather than clicking the easy just boost option because again, it gives full control back to Facebook really to spend your money, which sometimes they do it well, sometimes they don't, right? They do it to suit them. So try and manually create your audiences and your ads if you can. But yeah, absolutely. I guess what I would be looking at in that situation is what is the activity like on that post? So if there's only been 27 views, creating a retargeting campaign for lead generation is going to be, far and few between for opportunities because there's been very little activity on the post.
Sorry, and can you target after a normal just listed post? So you can take any post from back in history and use it as your ad. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can retarget anything. If it's on your newsfeed, you can retarget any audience that's looked, viewed, engaged, and clicked on it. Definitely. Yep. But again,
so I wouldn't go. Sorry, Chris.
I wouldn't go further back than 90 days because again, a lot of people, what they were doing 6 months ago, real estate wise, are probably not in the same position now.
Yeah. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. We're going to do a couple of sessions now that we've got to this stage. It's now, what does this all mean for us in 2025? What are we looking to achieve and how are we going to do it? So we're going to look at some business planning and in the next stage, and we might have some special guest stars. I know Rob, who's probably here now. Rob will be one of our extra hosts. But certainly trying to help you then get into 2025 and make a plan to implement all of these ideas and just your goal setting and what it is you're looking to achieve and how it's going to happen for you.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys, for your patience. I know it's probably a bit longer than we anticipated, but there's a lot of manual stuff going on there, and I tried to wrap it up really quickly towards the end. But as always, if you've got any questions, irrespective of brand network and where you're at in your real estate industry, please feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm only too happy to share any knowledge and inspiration to help you win in this space.
Yeah, and if any of you want to know any more about EXP, there is the link, life@exp.com.au. We're not pushing it, obviously, in these sessions. You know where we live, where we work. You know who we are. You're all out there doing your thing in your whichever franchise, boutique, everything. This content's just to help those that are watching to improve their businesses.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys, for an awesome
Thank
session.
you all.
Thanks for those that contributed and your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.